everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Anticipation is mounting for today's game, and we've got two quarterbacks looking to make an impact. It's Palmer's Cardinals going up against Newton's Panthers.
And we welcome all of our viewers inside a place that the folks around here like to call the Vault, and that's Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Arizona Cardinals and the Carolina Panthers. It's 3-0 versus 2-1, a good early season battle as we're underway in Week 4. Shift together here from the D-line. Throwing now, Taylor on first down. And his first pass is incomplete.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Second and 10, it's Taylor again. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
Third and long. Taylor and company hoping to regroup after the sack.
Let's go!
Out of the gun, it's Taylor. Looks for Nelson, and it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And they're going to be set up in the red zone at the 15. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
And they'll start this drive with very good field position. Now following the interception, here's Newton. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Second and 10. Newton again. And that'll be incomplete. They were looking to get it to Kelvin Benjamin there. And that'll make it third down.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. Newton now to throw. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Jeremiah Tauchu with a big-time sack on third down, and it'll be a loss of 7. And Gano's kick is right through. And the Panthers stake claim to a 3-0 lead. So they had great field position, but a three-play drive that actually goes backwards, and then they kick the field goal.
And I think the key sequence in there, the key phrase you just gave us, a three-play drive. Had the momentum, great field position, unable to move the football.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here.
Here we go.
They go to Johnson again. Unable to corral him. He fights through. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. Here's Taylor to throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Nelson. Touchdown, Cardinals. J.J. Nelson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Cardinals have taken the early lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. And the Panthers coming out now. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Newton. Caught on the left side by Benjamin. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Third down now following the run. Now Newton. That's Samuel, caught left side. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC.
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
Gano out to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they've got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent, but you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone.
Second down following the run.
Let's go.
To throw is Taylor. And Nelson's got it here right side. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Give them a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. Second down, 8.
Let's go.
Again, it's Johnson. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And this defense looks for one more stop here on third after the run.
Let's go. Ohio.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Taylor. And able to find John Brown. And he's got the first down yardage there as he takes it just across midfield. 12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains. So the offense has it 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one down to the 45. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
And they're 6 yards away from picking up the first here on 2nd down.
Come on, let's go.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
They'll throw on first down with Taylor. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
First down, it's Newton. And it's brought in by Eric Decker. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Play action. Newton. Pressure comes, and the Cardinals bring him down. Marcus Golden in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Newton. Eluding the pressure right. And that is incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. This is taken at about the 14. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. The Cardinals offense now works their way back onto the field. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects him.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks. And while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence. They'll think something was just wrong with the ball or the wind or something was funny. It's never about them. That's how they stay so into the moment and into the game.
Over the middle here to Brown. A really good pickup of 28 yards. First down carry here for Johnson. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
On 2nd down, Taylor. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Now a handoff. Johnson. And he's got some space here. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup and again.
All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
He's the type of offensive lineman that doesn't get mentioned often by the commentators, but when they do, it's complimentary. He's a smart, big guy who knows how to play mistake-free at the line. In fact, he ran a stretch of games this season in which he didn't allow a single sack. That's an impressive feat for any college offensive lineman, and it's no wonder to see a team take him. He's going to have to adjust to the larger size and strength of NFL defensive linemen, but I think his intangibles are stronger than any lineman in this class.
The Bears are now on the clock. Bears have just picked up Hogan. Adam, what do you think?
This is a player that many felt could be a solid role player in the NFL, but not a dominant force. That train of thought changed after one of the best defensive performances the College All-Star Game has ever seen. At times, it seemed as if he were everywhere on the field during the game, disrupting both the run and pass game for the opposition. Several scouts I spoke with pointed to that performance as evidence he could dominate at a high level, and sources have told me that more than one general manager felt he was the type of defender you could build a franchise around. Now all that's left for him to prove is if the All-Star Game was an aberration or a sign of things to come.
The Rams are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. Falcons pick is in. Adam, give us the rundown.
If there's one thing this defensive back is good at, it's the old bait the quarterback into throwing and picking it off trick. And he's not just good at it, he's great. He set the school record for interceptions in a season, and most of those interceptions happened when he baited the quarterback and forced him into poor decisions. He's also had his fair share of circus-style catches in tight coverage, the type of catches that even some receivers can't make. He may have a harder time picking off NFL quarterbacks, but his coverage ability is enough alone to warrant this team drafting him with this pick.
Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
He got the attention of scouts pretty quickly when he had a game-winning catch that most receivers would have trouble bringing in. With one outstretched hand, he caught a pass that looked like it was about to sail out of the back of the end zone. He proved that even the big guys can make some incredible plays with their hands. And in a league where receiving tight ends are becoming a premium, it's no wonder this team took him here.
The Ravens are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. Let's go to Adam now, who's got more on the Steelers' last pick.
A high-flying, hard-hitting defensive back, he was the subject of much criticism earlier this year after being unable to put together consistent performances week to week. Consistency doesn't even do the roller coaster of emotions he went through justice. A better description may have been puzzling. After turning in an exceptional performance in week 1 with 2 picks, he was downright terrible in week 2, being burned for 3 touchdowns. Week 3 saw him force a fumble and return it for a touchdown, and then week 4 saw him get beat on plays that led to critical scores and a close loss. The pendulum continued to swing both ways throughout the entire year, prompting one scout I spoke with to nickname him the Enigma. This pick could have a huge upside, providing this coaching staff has the patience for him to develop into a much more consistent player.
The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock.
Well, if you're wondering what the delay is, I think we've got a trade coming here.
The Browns are now on the clock. The Browns have made their selection, and it's Buchanan.
Midseason struggles look to have doomed his draft prospects as he put up lackluster numbers in several consecutive games. As a result of his consistent poor play, several scouts decided not to show up for his pro day. When word of this reached draft experts like Matt Miller, he began free-falling in several influential mock drafts. Scouts that decided to attend his pro day were treated to a show of sheer athleticism. They saw a player that looked like he had a chip on his shoulder, one scout even telling me that seeing the negative media attention may have been the wake-up call he needed to take his game to the next level. He now will have the opportunity to prove his doubters wrong in the NFL, but a part of me wonders whether or not he'll play with the same passion and intensity once the doubters are silenced.
The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock.
The Broncos are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock.
Adam, what can you tell us about the Titans' newest player?
He kicked off the offseason with one of the best all-star performances among defensive backs this year. How well did he play? As Matt Miller described, he simply took his matchup out of the play each and every time. The quarterbacks did their best avoiding him throughout the day, throwing to the other side of the field or the check down read. After he made such a big impression at the All-Star game, he backed up his play with a fantastic showing at the Combine and Pro Days. The team has to be grateful he was available at this point in the draft, and it didn't waste any time scooping him up.
I see both teams filling out cards. You know what that means? We've got a trade.
All right, now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
He was always a player who cared about academics, and that couldn't have been made any more clear when he decided to forego his senior season in order to take on more classes. His goal was to graduate before entering the NFL draft, and at the sacrifice of his final year of football eligibility, he was able to pull it off. The decision left some experts scratching their heads, but guys like Matt Miller saw it as a smart move to stay injury-free and remove the distraction of getting his diploma once he went pro. At least with the degree, he has a backup job now in case this whole football thing doesn't work out for him.
The Colts are now on the clock.
Rice, the selection, Adam. What do you think?
He's a raw athlete with a lot of upside, and the question will be, where and when does he hit his ceiling? He's still relatively new to football, as he was a track and field runner for the school his first 3 years of eligibility. He definitely has the body to play any of the skill positions in football, and he may ultimately end up playing a different position than what he's drafted as. I'm sure the coaches will love the athleticism he brings, but first they'll probably try him out in a few different areas before finding his best role.
The 49ers are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock.
The Packers made their selection. For more about him, let's go to Adam Schefter.
He had an average day at the combine, but something a few different scouts pointed out was his lack of speed in the 40. He ran an average time for an offensive lineman, but the big area of focus for guys his size is the first 10-yard split. It took him almost 2 seconds to get out of his stance and across the first 10 yards. This is a good measure of how quickly a lineman can get out of his stance and get downfield. Looking at what he did at Indy, there's some concern as to how fast he can get to the second level while run blocking. This is an area where improvement can be difficult, but we'll see how he does it for his team.
The Ravens are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. Our very own Adam Schefter has more to say about this pick.
He was always a physical player, and all the tests confirmed it, but what scouts saw at the All-Star game was poor technique. It looked to me like he was playing a little too aggressive, and it worked against him. I spoke with one coach who seemed to like him, but also said he needed to be taught how to tackle properly. He had a lot of success on physical play alone in college, but that won't work anymore in the NFL.
The Bills are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock.
Adam, what can you tell us about the Giants' newest player?
Hard, physical running is his calling card. There is no better display of what he's capable of than when he set a team record for rushing yards in a game, eclipsing the 300-yard mark. After that performance, he put the NFL on notice. Now he's arrived anxious to prove he'll be capable of ripping off big games in the pros, just as he was able to do throughout college. He should see a lot of touches this season, starting in the preseason all the way through what this team hopes is a deep playoff run.
The Ravens are now on the clock.